This program is powered by AAIM Employers Association and Ogletree Deacons, a Feature Group USA production.
Hello, everybody. I'm Phil Brandt, President and CEO of AAIM Employers Association. In the last 2 years, ChatGPT has jumped from 8% of adults using it at work in 2023 to around 28% today. Burt, that is a huge jump in utilization just at work, just on ChatGPT. Now, if you go to ChatGPT and you search for HR, you'll find our very own Aaime Hart, likely within the first top 10 search results. A little bit more on that to come. But like any HR assistant, she will need guidance to get you what you need. So today, we're going to give you some keys to unlocking AI for HR. Strap in, I'm about to get fired up on This Week at Work.
This Week at Work is the only show to pack workplace news, practical HR solutions, and timely insights into every 30-minute episode.
We just launched Aaime Hart. I mean, we're already one of the top 10 chat GPTs for the HR space out there. You know, one of the things that I really want to chat about is what is the best way to utilize tools like Aaime Hart and ChatGPT so that people can have the confidence to use the tool the right way, and then couple that with their experience, their workplace culture, and help their business, which in turn helps their employees, which in turn helps the community thrive. And that is the basis behind this. It is not someone that's trying to just program something to get hits. This is programmed specifically to serve employers and their challenges in that HR space.
Download today's key takeaways and spark change in your workplace. All this and more on This Week at Work.
All right. Good morning, Burt. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, Phil. How are you doing?
Yep, I'm all fired up, as they say. But no, we're doing really good here. We're having a really busy summer. I mean, just coming off of our SHRM conference down at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. Man, we're heading out this week to Indianapolis. And, you know, most people don't realize, but Indianapolis and Florida, the state of Florida, both states where we have offices, are the two largest SHRM chapter meetings, state chapter meetings for their members in the country. And you wouldn't expect that, I don't think, from the state of Indiana, but they have a fantastic conference. And we're going to head there on Sunday, and we'll be spending a few days promoting our Aaime Hart and other services to our members there and so on. So that's a little bit busy for us. And then after that, the following week, we'll head down to Florida and we'll do the same thing down there. So it's really quite a busy week of a busy month of travel for us. However, in August, we are really focusing on HR compliance, and that kind of leads right up to our 43rd annual employment law update. I mean, for 43 years, we've been doing this. We've had a great partner with us out of Peoria, Illinois, Davis and Campbell, that's been doing this every single year with us. But since we have expanded and we're now not only Missouri and Illinois, but in Indiana and Florida, we've had a lot of demand for state-specific focus. And Burt, as you know, I'm happy that you're going to be involved in this for the first time with us. So thank you for being a part of that. You and your buddy Justin out in Indianapolis are each going to cover your respective states. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, looking forward to it as well, Phil. I know you've been on the road quite a bit with the AIM Roadshow, kind of goofing around here and there and traveling and everything. And
That's what my family thinks I'm doing. They think I'm just out playing at Lake of the Ozarks.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
Last week, I was up in New York for some work, and
Of
Phil,
course, for work. For work.
Hey, I
Yeah.
was working, and you know that I'm a big fan. You and I've been friends a long time. You know I'm a big fan of the street arts, Phil, and I love street art. And I was out there in New York and just watching stuff and looking at graffiti and everything, and I decided to partake myself. And Nick, do you have that image of what I painted out there?
I don't.
Nick,
I don't.
Nick.
I have the other things you sent, but let me
I
cue
feel
that
like I'm
up
being
for you.
set up here.
Let
I
me
feel
cue
like
that
I'm
up for
being
you.
set up.
We'll
Nick, you're
tease that. We'll tease that. We'll come
killing
back to
me.
it.
All right. Well, Phil, you just remember, I'm a fan of the street arts, and I decided to partake this year, and maybe Nick will be able to find that for us. But yeah, while you're goofing around, I'm up there hard at work, and I know we've got a lot to cover today, so we better get to work.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but there is more to this labor law update. After 43 years, we have expanded it, and I just want to tell our audience about it. First, because our attendance is off the charts this year. We have more people enrolled than ever before, and I think it's because of the great work the team here has done, led by our buddy Tim, and putting together a kind of a unique program. So in this case, we're going to come together, we're going to do a federal law update, and everyone will be together for that, whether you're in person or virtually. And then after that, we will break into state specific regional focuses. So that's where you come in and Justin come in, where we're able to then say, okay, for those that are interested in what's happening in Missouri, then we break out and we go to you, Burt Garland, take it away from Missouri, and same thing for Indianapolis. And then we have down in Florida, we have a great partner down there, Brett Yaw from Ford Harrison, who's going to cover the South region in Florida and talk about what's happening there. So really able to cover all of the states that we serve as well as the federal compliance. But there is more, Bert. Coupled with that, everyone gets the option if they would like to bundle that labor law update with our policy application workshop. And this is what I think is really driving the attendance, in addition to adding you to the agenda. But the policy application workshop is going to cover, and it will be just that, a workshop, and we're going to work on PTO and vacation policies, personal leave, attendance, FMLA, ADA, workers' comp, short and long-term disability, and more. And when you start getting into those types of workshops and having those guided professionally so that you can maybe update your policies and get those ready, those are the policies that we often struggle with, and sometimes they go a long time without being updated, and we just are hoping to provide an avenue for our members and participants to get themselves in compliance, get it behind us, and let's get moving forward on other things that might be equally or more important at times. So I want to say thanks to you and Justin for being a part of that program, and like always, I know you do a good job. However, let's give them a little teaser with Lawyer on the Clock if you're ready, Bert.
I'm ready for lawyer on the clock, Phil.
Great. Nick, why don't you pull that lever?
Curious about a case that could wreck your workplace? Lucky for you, we have a lawyer on the clock.
So, Phil, while I've been busy working up in New York last week or so, of course the guidance coming out of Washington D.C. has not stopped, and I want to catch our viewers up on a couple of things. First of all, the Department of Justice issued some new DE&I guidance, and I want to chat just for a minute or two about what that might mean for businesses and contractors. On July 29, 2025, just a couple weeks ago, the Attorney General Pam Bondi issued new guidance about DE&I programs that it describes as violating federal anti-discrimination laws. I want to make it very clear that this memorandum applies not just to recipients of federal funding, but it broadly applies to any entity subject to the federal anti-discrimination laws, including public and private employers, schools, and contractors. So this guidance from the Department of Justice is more broad than just recipients of federal funding. It applies to all businesses in the country. And this guidance identifies specific DE&I practices that the Department of Justice considers unlawful or presumptively discriminatory and lays out what they call 9 best practices for compliance. So I want to make sure that, I want to make sure that employers are aware that this is out there. And basically, what it does is it declares unlawful many common DE&I practices, including race-based scholarship, hiring preferences for candidates from underrepresented groups, and training programs that rely on race or sex-based classifications. It extends potential liability to so-called proxy discrimination, where facially neutral criteria like lived experiences or geographic preferences are used to achieve outcomes without direct reference to prohibited characteristics. It targets the use of race or ethnicity to determine access to facilities or resources, including quote unquote safe spaces, race specific lounges, or other forms of segregation based on protected characteristics. It prohibits programs or participation eligibility criteria based on protected characteristics, such as requiring applicants to identify with a specific racial or ethnic group or limiting access based on sex. Just a couple more. It requires oversight of third-party recipients, making grant recipients and prime contractors responsible for the practices of sub-awardees and their contractors. And it has a whistleblower provision. It encourages internal reporting and creates legal protection for employees who object to DE&I practices on anti-discrimination grounds. So this
Wow.
guidance is from the Department of Labor. I'm sorry, the Department of Justice is pretty expansive. And again, I just like to bring up, you and I were talking pre-show, Phil. This is the Department of Justice, and when you hear DOJ, that has criminal implications. And I just want to encourage employers to be aware that this is out there.
You know, wow. I mean, that's huge. And I'm sure just, looking at that when we just talk about the employment law, that's going to have to be a conversation. But I'm going back to when I practiced HR and was working in large corporations, and we had practices. So I'm just checking some practical applications, things that I was familiar with back in the day, where we would maybe, and we would show favor to minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, with different contracts, to try and support and promote those types of organizations. What I'm hearing here maybe is that may not be the best practice at this point.
Well, not only is it probably not the best practice at this point, for those of us who operate here in Missouri, and in particular in the city and county of St. Louis, the city of St. Louis has suspended its MBE WBE program that it used to run. That's minority business enterprises, women-owned business enterprises, in light of this federal guidance. And
Yeah,
so again, employers need to make sure that they are aware of this. And we've talked before about it's expensive to be the test case when the
sure.
government wants to come after you, and whether this DE&I guidance from the Department of Justice would pass muster if they bring a claim or seriously bring criminal proceedings against an organization. It can be expensive and with the criminal aspect, very risky for anybody who's practicing these types of programs in the workplace.
So Bert, help me with, and maybe this is a little naive of me, and I'm not remembering something as I'm growing older, but the coming from the Department of Justice is interesting to me. It's not coming from the EEOC or the Department of Labor. What is the significant difference? And you hinted to criminal act. So help me understand. Is this another way of leveling up? Don't do these things.
Yes, it is. That I won't even give you an it depends. Yes, that is they're trying to put some serious consequences behind employers that practice these types of programs.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
And
more
as
to
we've
come
said
on this. I
before,
mean,
Phil,
we should probably spend a little time on
yeah.
this program and break it down even a little bit further. But obviously, yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention, and we're going to focus more on that in an upcoming episode for sure.
Phil, is we talked about I'm a big fan of the street arts as I mentioned earlier. Nick, do you have that ready to go finally? And I want to show what I was doing up in New York. Do you see that? Can everybody see what I painted up in New York?
Come on, Bert.
That's pretty talented, isn't it?
It's in your hearts forever. I love that. But
Yep.
I'm concerned about the date up above it.
Oh,
I'm coming up on my second year of my death anniversary,
I,
Remembrance Day.
Phil, that has nothing to do with your second anniversary of a death or Remembrance Day. That's just some dates that I picked out randomly, just threw up there when I was painting that Phil in our hearts forever.
You
See,
know,
when I look at that, and I'm sure this is what you meant when you were partaking in the streets art. If I look at that, Phil, and the dot for the eye is a sunshine. I mean, I'm just a ray of sunshine, Bert. That's the way I see it.
that's what I'm
You
looking at too, and I'm thinking that maybe that date is the last time we called this the AIM morning briefing,
Yes,
because
that's what it was,
that
Nick.
could be it.
That's
That
what
could
I
be
meant.
it. That's what you
That's what I
meant.
meant. Well,
Absolutely.
while I'm a fan of the street arts, Phil, I know you're big into crypto, and
I am.
I know you're happy with this latest development out of the White House
Segway.
from August 7th. President Trump signed an executive order that really opened the door to a much broader inclusion of alternative assets in 401k plans, and I know hot on the heels of the signing of that executive order, word is on the street that you've been busy.
I have been busy. Um, I've been very hesitant with crypto for a long time for lots of reasons, and I'm not even sure I can completely comprehend what the heck it is and how it works. But I recognize the world is changing, and part of that change, I do think, is going to involve crypto, particularly with that executive order. So I've jumped in the pool, Bert, a big cannonball splash, and I made my first crypto purchase. And we'll see where that goes. Now, like most of the investment options I usually make, and this is why I need an investor to make it for me. The best advice I can give someone usually in the form of investment is do exactly the opposite of what I do, and you'll be great. So I bought it when it's at its all-time high, and there's no doubt it's going to go down today. So we'll
Well,
see where that goes. But yes, I do know this is a big change for 401ks.
yeah.
That's on the horizon for us.
Yes. So this executive order called Democratizing Access to Alternative Assets for 401k investors. The purpose is really to reduce regulatory barriers and significantly expand access to alternative assets. And that would include things like private equity, real estate, digital assets. There you go, Phil, with your crypto, commodities, and infrastructure. So keep your eyes out for this on the horizon. This is going to really direct the Department of Labor to propose rules, regulations, or guidance within 180 days to ease regulatory concerns and barriers and facilitate access to these alternative assets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big
Yeah, we're gonna
changes
keep
on the
our eye on
horizon
that
there.
one, and
Yes.
I'll give you my update on crypto as we go.
Phil, you may be so wealthy from crypto, you're going to be able to hire your own street artist to get the dates right up in New
Yeah,
York for yourself.
I'm just sticking with the ray of sunshine there, Bert. I'm happy with that.
Thanks. I
Let's focus
appreciate
on the
you.
positives. Yeah.
I appreciate you noticing that detail of mine.
All right. Anything else from Lawyer on the Clock here today?
Yeah, I'll just mention one other that I've been actually getting some questions on this lately, so I thought I'd share with the listeners here. I had a client reach out and ask if they can start charging smokers more for their health plan. And
Yes, that's a question from the past, isn't it?
it is, it
Yeah.
is. And when they asked me that, they were talking about including a quote unquote tobacco surcharge in their plan. And I usually kind of encourage employers to think of it a little bit differently, and that is to offer rather than a tobacco surcharge. to offer lower rates to employees who participate in various wellness programs, like a tobacco cessation program. In effect, it does accomplish the same thing, that the tobacco users end up paying more. But I do think that you want to try to focus on health programs, programs that promote good health, disease prevention, and those are again typically referred to as wellness programs. So yes, you can do it. The words that you use are important, and the manner that you do it in is also important. So just bear that in mind. If you
Yeah,
need
no,
guidance
that's
on that, reach out to Phil, to Aaime Hart, or to us, and we're happy to help you with that.
yeah, and I think that's a great segue, Burt, into Aaime Hart, who we have displayed right back here. People seem to like the fact that we've given her a little clever name, and we think of her as an assistant, and we go through. And I opened up the program with a very interesting statistic about, just 2 years ago, only 8% of the adults were using ChatGPT. Now, of course, there's other forms of these large language models out there that people use, but ChatGPT has brand recognition that people are familiar with, and only 8%. And today that number's up around 28%. That number is just going to keep going. If my crypto can increase like ChatGPT is going to increase, I'd put more, if I was that confident, I'd put more money in crypto. But that's an amazing increase in utilization. Just amazing when over 25% of the workforce is now using that for work. It makes me a little bit worried, but it also explains why we created Aaime Hart. What we wanted was a safe place for work professionals in the space of human resources or business leaders that are dealing with human resource challenges to be able to go and utilize the knowledge and 125 years of information that AIM has that it uses to guide employers every day. And we wanted then to give that to all businesses, not just our members. And as a result, Aaime Hart has taken off in a way far beyond the expectations that we thought we would ever experience. Every single day, I'm getting feedback from people who have used Aaime Hart, and they're thanking us and bragging, about the success that they've had. And that makes me really excited because what we want to do is give people good information. And not everything that comes from these technologies can just be used as raw information and taken as fact. And so today I wanted to spend a little bit of time just focusing on like 10 best practices. Now, Nick likes to play games, and I like to play games, and we like to use you as our contestant. But I'm going to help you with this one because I can say I don't know if I know the exact order or the top five, but he's going to give us 10 options. And these, according to Aaime, are the 10 best practices for utilizing a ChatGPT. So, Nick, why don't you walk us through the instructions here and tell us what you would like us to do here?
Well, what we have here is 10 of those. And because it's, we knew we'd be starting with Lawyer on the Clock, and we'd have limited time towards the back half of the show, that we would just maybe go over your top five, the five that you guys like, and then let's put them in order of what Aaime Hart thought would be the kind of the top priority and on down. So what we can do here, you can pick one, talk about it, and we'll drag it in whatever spot you think, and then we'll check and see how well you did.
All right. So I know a lot of people listen to our program in the car on the way to work. So I'm going to just read these top 10 real quick so that they understand what the top 10 are, and they can play along in their own mind as we're driving. But avoid over-reliance and compliance gray areas. The second one is be aware of our state and local variations. Third is combine AI insights with human judgment. The fourth one is cross-check against trusted data sources. And number 5, in no particular order here, is keep records of AI advice. Then we have another 5 to select from is leverage AIM resources alongside AI, protect confidentiality and sensitive information, request practical and actionable next steps, start with clear, specific questions, and finally, treat AI guidance as advisory guidance only. Those are the top 10 that Aaime gave us. And as I understand it now, Burt and I are to pick the top 5. Yeah,
All
Nick,
right.
is that right?
You want me to dig in, Phil?
Go for it, buddy.
So
I'm going to
so
let you pick, and if I'm in opposition of what you're going to guess, I'll suggest something different.
This is why you have to be careful with AI, because AI tries to put you in a box and rein you in, and I don't like to do that. So I'm going to start out with throwing a curveball right away. Number 1, avoid over reliance and compliance gray areas, and number 10, treat AI guidance as advisory only. To me, those are about the exact same thing. And I think together combined, those would both be number 1. You can't over
Okay.
rely on AI. They both need to be there, and avoid over reliance in any compliance gray area. You treat AI as guidance, as advisory only.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and recognize that it still isn't always as accurate as we would like it to be. It was interesting this morning on the way in. I was having a chat this morning with Aaime Hart on the car through my intercom system, which is becoming more normal, and that might seem abnormal to most everyone else.
Phil,
Um,
I haven't heard the word intercom system in a decade, so I'm kind
Yeah,
of
well,
curious
I
what
do
kind of
have
car
gray
you're
hair,
driving.
Bert. Be careful. I mean, I have a little more gray hair than you do. But anyway, um, this was the focus, and it was those two combined. I'm right in line with you. Whether one is one or two is one, it doesn't matter. Those are two really important ones. What else you think, Bert?
And I'd also throw number 4 up there as well. Cross-check against trusted data sources. Again, it's just like you use AI, trust but verify.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good practice always anyway, isn't it?
Mhm. It
Two
come,
more.
yeah. Let's go with number 3. Combine AI insights with human judgment.
I like that one.
And I would say that probably let's see, number 7 would also be really important. Protect confidentiality and sensitive information. As lawyers, that's a huge focus for us.
Yeah, that is huge, and I've seen things pop up from other. I've heard stories of people telling me about confidential information being discovered. Now, as I understand it, and the research I've done with AI is that should not happen, but I have heard stories, even from some of our trusted listeners, that they've been able to discover information they don't think they should. Not about their organization, but maybe about someone else's organization that they're like, why would that be in here? So I'm always preaching there's no need to put anything personal into AI. You can achieve the same objective without the personal data.
Yeah. So while
I think I
while we
could support those 5 as well. Nick, how did we do?
Yeah,
Well,
the only thing I feel like we're at a little bit of a disadvantage though, because 1, 2, and 3 to me, Phil, are all variations of the same theme. But let's see how we did.
All
okay,
right,
so you're
great.
good. We're no changing of order. We're good here. All
Yep.
right, we're gonna lock it
That's
in.
our final answer, as they say.
Oh, incorrect. You are no match for Aaime Hart. But let's see how you did. Ooh, that's pretty
Oh,
good
dang,
though.
Bert, look at us.
You got number 1 correct. You got number 4 correct. Uh, looks like over avoidance reliance was very close.
Well, we
And
got 4 now.
four of
Just
the
wait a
5.
minute.
Yeah,
We got 4 of the top 5. Just the order is off, right?
that's true. That is pretty good. That is pretty good.
That is
Now
pretty
let's.
good. And again, I'll say 1, 3, and 7 are all variations of that same theme.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very
What was
impressed.
the What's the one that we didn't get right? Which one did we leave on the board that was part of the top five?
Looks like just that number 5, which was be aware of state and local variations.
Yeah. And see, and I guess when I think about that, and it's we talk about combining insights with human judgment, um, state and local variations. The way that we teach people to do that is be specific about your prompt, right? It's like if I want to know something very specific about the state of Florida, I want to say in the state of Florida, what is or what is necessary and ask my questions from there, but I want to clarify that from the beginning. If I'm only interested in federal oversights, then I'm going to, just talk about it from a federal oversight if I'm looking for compliance. And that's the importance of interacting with the right prompts. And today isn't about prompts, but it is about being very careful with how you use AI. It's a wonderful tool. We just don't want to get ourselves over reliant on it and end up in a spot to where we become so comfortable we're not interacting with it, human judgment as well. In every case study we've done, AI has been a great tool, but it's been a wonderful, more effective tool when we apply human judgment to it. We are not in any way suggesting today this is a replacement for humans or human judgment for sure. It's an assistant, and just like anyone else that you would be working with, you want to trust but verify, as Burt said. Burt,
Phil,
there's one on here. If you have a second, I want to ask you about. It
yeah, go
says
ahead.
keep records of AI advice. That was one of the options. Do you have an opinion on that or not?
Yes, keep records of AI advice.
All right. Okay.
Absolutely, positively, and especially if you're a lawyer out there, make sure you are keeping records of AI advice. Number one, and number two, make sure you are checking the citations that AI gives you of case law before you submit any briefing to the courts. We might be able to prolong this, Phil, and talk about this one next week. Nick, if you could real quickly, could you put up the picture, the Wikipedia link that I sent you? And maybe this will be a good segue. Phil, this is Jeffrey Hinton, and he's earned the title, as Wikipedia says, and every article about him says he's the godfather of AI, and he's been making some interesting comments about AI in the media lately. And basically, one of them is that in order to survive the age of AI, he suggests that we train it to act like our moms. And maybe we
Yeah.
could talk about that in a little bit more detail next week. He
Now,
also
Bert,
has
I had a classic Italian American mother, and the last thing I want is an AI behaving like my mother.
I had a classic Jewish American mother, and if AI could figure out how to cook and feed me, I'd be 800 pounds. So, you know,
Yeah.
but one of the other things he's talked about recently is that he's talked about the jobs that are likely to be replaced. And so maybe next week, Phil, we can talk about what it means to train AI to act like your mom, talk about the jobs that he sees most at risk. And then finally, another one that I had that I wanted to talk about is a Forbes article that came out about 2 months ago, a little less than 2 months ago. 2 months ago, and the article is entitled "Is ChatGPT Making Us Stupid?" And
Yeah,
so,
I hear a lot about that. Yeah.
yeah, and so
And
maybe we could talk about these next week. And I'm reading this article from Forbes, and there is one thing that I think we can relate it to. It doesn't discuss this in the article, but you know, I don't know how you are when you go to these new cities, when you're out and about on the AIM
I
Roadshow and
go
all
and
that.
tag walls with spray cans, Bert.
You're out there and you plop down in a new city and you go to your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and you get your maps up and you just follow the blue line wherever it tells you to go. And I don't know about you, but when I start to over rely on these GPS systems, these map systems, you really don't learn where you're driving.
No.
And so I kind of analogize the over reliance on GPS maps to kind of over reliance on AI. And so I think maybe Phil, perhaps we can pick this up next week.
No, I'm happy to do that. So I'm getting some information here. How do I use Aaime Hart? Best way to do is open up your ChatGPT, log in with an email, and just in the ChatGPT search section, just type in Aaime Hart, and she'll come up. She's one of the top 10 already in that space of HR. We're really happy to make this available to people. She's been trained with tons of information, very reliable, but use your human oversight and interaction with that as well. Burt, I like the topic for next week. That's a great teaser. We didn't even plan to do that, but I hope people do enjoy Aaime Hart and give us some of your success stories. If you have failures, let's know about those too, so we can get in and train some of those corrections into it. You can download the Ready, Aim, Fire cheat sheet by clicking on the button below. And then don't forget to register for the 2025 Employment Law Update. We got two parts for you. We got the legal update with state-specific information as well. You pick your state, and we'll have a great lawyer ready to help you. And then part two of that is our policy workshop that's designed to help you make sure you stay in compliance with the policies we referred to earlier. So we welcome everyone to join us. It's going to be our best year ever. Attendance is awesome, and we just can't wait to have everyone there. And particularly, Burt, having you alongside our other legal partners is going to be a lot of fun too. So with that, Burt, how about we just come back here next week and wish everyone a good time and go out and be nice to somebody like Burt's mother.
Thank you once again for tuning in to This Week at Work. If you enjoy the show, please like it, share it, and make sure it's on your calendar every week. Ask your burning questions anytime and let us know what topics you'd like us to cover. Just go to hrask.org and be sure to leave a review wherever you catch our show to help other HR pros find us as well. We'll see you next week when we discuss what's happening this week at work.